Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Yesterday we saw Prince Harry at St. Paul's Cathedral for the remembrance service commemorating 10 years of the Invictus Games. Present at the service were two of his relatives on his mother's side. We had Lady Jane Fellows, Diana's sister, and Charles, the Earl Spencer. There wasn't a royal in sight. Harry has been totally snubbed by the royal family, by his father, and who can blame them? After everything that he's done, it's about time. But even with all of that and the goings-on and things that did and didn't happen while Harry was in town for 48 hours or so, the one thing that you'll notice, the news reporters, the royal reporters, no matter how badly Harry has behaved and what they say about all of that, they just give him the Invictus Games on a silver platter. They give all the accolades to Harry surrounding it. Oh, look at him, for all of Harry. He's done this, that, and the other. Well, his creative vision, his vision to help vets, you know, and Invictus is all his. It's bullshit. It's not true. The Invictus Games was never Harry's idea or inception. It was never Harry's passion. In truth, what happened was the Invictus Games was created to mimic, to kind of copy the Warrior Games in the States that were going on. And that had been around for a while already. Now, the situation at the time was Harry had done his 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. Now we know how they overblow and overplay his war hero status about that. That's more controlled narrative stuff. We know that when he was there, he had more private Gurkha security guarding him than there were men in his unit. The whole thing was a scam. It was optics. Harry, the war hero, and his participation medals on his chest. I mean, it's ludicrous when you think about it, and it's shameful of the royal family for kind of putting out this mythos of him as a war hero, and it didn't really happen. But anyway, so yeah, Harry comes back from his 12 weeks of war video game, and he was rather restless. There was a lot of photographs of him falling out of nightclubs in the wee hours of the morning, punching photographers, all this kind of bad behavior that the palace was really having trouble keeping a lid on and keeping Harry in check. And so between the palace and the Royal Foundation, the Invictus Games came to be. The managerial bit was, of course, the palace, and the funding came from the Royal Foundation, and they set Harry up as the head of the thing because at least he had some experience with veterans, and he was sporty and athletic. So he was charismatic, and he enjoyed people, and he did well. He did well with public duties and that kind of thing. So they thought that this would be well suited for him, and indeed something that he could sink his teeth in and keep him busy, keep him focused, give him, if not a passion, at least a function. So that's all the Invictus game was. It was a make-work babysitting app for Harry, basically. And all went well. He had the full support of the Palace at the beginning, at the very first service for the Invictus Games 10 years ago. The whole family was in attendance. Harry was well supported and well lauded for the work that he did. And for years, it went on pretty smoothly in Harry's participation and commitment to the whole thing seemed rather wholesome and truthful, you know. And then we get the course where Meghan comes along, and it's really upset things for several reasons. First of all, something that she has nothing to do with. She inserts herself in it and makes herself the center of attention. We saw at the last Invictus Games where she insisted in leading a march of the veterans, holding a flag, marching along in her ill-fitting, wrinkled hot pants in front of a line of soldiers. The whole thing was absurd. It upset a lot of the participants. Her kind of taking over the whole thing, that a lot of them are not impressed with her behavior. And also there's the fact that, you know, executives in Invictus and on the board and thing are noticing that Harry and Meghan are kind of using it as a cash cow. They're using it as a piggy bank, you know, pay our expenses. Meghan's $1,000, you know, thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars of wardrobe for that week, and private jets and accommodation and everything, and they're using the Invictus Games charitable fund as a slush fund for their own bad behavior. And this is getting out. In fact, when they were just recently up at Whistler a few months ago for the year out of the Invictus Games, sort of looking forward, and they had some meetings and a celebration and a dinner and stuff. And two of the Canadian guys that are on the board of Invictus for the Canada Games, they've been recently fired because they kind of went against the grain. They went against the narrative, and they started talking about, and they brought up the things like, why is all this money and all of this, and you can't be doing this and that. And they were fired by Harry and Meghan. You know, so no oversight. They don't want anybody looking into anything they do or how it's done. And they certainly don't want the criticism, do they? So, you know, here we go. We're going in, and now they're heading to Nigeria for a full royal tour. You can bet they're going to just milk the end out of that one. And, you know, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, I bet you we hear their Royal Highness is coming out of the mouth of someone. You know, they're there to meet with them. They were on the invitation of the Minister of Defense, presumably to discuss Nigeria as a possible future venue for future Invictus Games. They're going to play this one up like a royal tour. I mean, there's already online, you can see. They've given Meghan a local, in the local lingo, local language, Nigerian dialect anyway, a name. You know, that I can't pronounce it, but it means warrior princess. You can bet. You can bet on her resume now. She's already listed as a princess of the United Kingdom. what you want to bet that she'll put, Nigerian princess? I wonder if she'll have the balls to use it. I wouldn't put it past her. But so, yeah, we've got that going on. And I mean, it's such bad form. Nigeria is a Commonwealth country. The king should have, well, he does have dominion over what kind of, what goes on and everything. And as head of the Commonwealth and head of their government, he should be able to call up the Minister of Defense and say, oh, no, you don't. They do not represent us. You do not treat them like this is not a royal visit. They do not get that kind of behavior and treatment. You're simply not, you can talk to him on a Skype call about setting up Invictus or something, but do not try to turn this into a royal tour. Charles has that power as king. Recently, we just saw him give Harry a big snub this time around, which is something we were all kind of waiting for. But he should be going further. This has got to be shut down. And so far, and we don't know exactly when they're going to Nigeria. I've been trying to find out. All I can hear is later this month. Like with always, they don't want to let you know what's going on. But, veterans are upset seeing how Meghan is using the Invictus Games for her own promotion. Veterans are upset seeing how the charity and the funding, so much is going just directly, to airfare and accommodation and Meghan's wardrobe and not to where it should, and massive salaries for these employees, but not to the veterans themselves, not to the games themselves. And so even the people that this was put in place to help are saying this is not worth it anymore. This has gotten out of hand. This is not what we signed up for, and they're not happy about it. So, how long is it going to last? How long is it going to be able to last and prosper and provide the service that it was originally intended to do for the veterans? With Meghan and Harry just using it to grift. It's a holiday. It's they can slip it in like a royal tour there in Nigeria. They can use it as an excuse to promote themselves. That's all this is about now. This is all it's about, is self-promotion. Governments are starting to see it. The public is starting to see it. The veterans are starting to see it. So I have to ask, like with everything that they do, it just falls to ruin. How long are the Invictus Games going to last? Is this 10th anniversary perhaps the last anniversary of the Invictus Games? The next ceremony at St. Paul's, perhaps? Perhaps it'll be a requiem. Who knows? We have to wait and see what happens. But I envision the fall of Invictus just like I've seen the fall of everything else they put their hands on. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Looking forward to that faux royal tour coming up sometime soon. Have a great day, everybody. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.